How's it going, people? Just heading into Memorial Park to go and have a look at this residents meeting this afternoon regarding the council's insistence on putting rates up year on year. 12% annual rate increases is unaffordable and quite frankly delusional, but that's what you get when you get a council that likes spending money. So we'll go in and have a look, and those of you that couldn't get to it, we'll keep you up to date on what went on there. We're down here at Memorial Park, so we'll have a look. There's not a bad turnout here. I'll spin it around and give you a look.
Yeah, you can hear, so that's not too bad. You going to sing a song or something?
I ask, is this really a requirement to have this many staff? Is it the case that we need all these staff? Or is it the case that we've now got an ultra-modern dream home down on Devonport Road that needs filling? It was a very good coffee, I hear, if you can get access to it. The excuse that the council has inherited the Commissioner's finances will only hold up for so long. At some point, the people who pay the bills need to be respected. And we've got to get this council back, pulling finger, finding ways to save, to return value to the very people who actually pay the bills. Rather than pivoting away from what the Commissioners were doing, we are seeing this legacy carried on by the Council, picking up the baton and running with double-digit rate hikes. Percentages compound. You can say we're going to have a double-digit this year and we're going to have less next year, but that double-digit increase doesn't actually go away. It compounds onto the next year. These are increases that will stay with us. Now look, this council, and thank you all for being here despite the rain, to hear this message. This council is not going to face elections like every other council in New Zealand this October. And for those of us who have experienced the last 6 years, we know the reasons why. But that does not mean that they are shielded from being held to account. We are here to hold them to account for what they are doing. Despite there not being an election in October, we can still have, for the next few months, starting today, a festival of democracy. We need to be saying, we are the people of Tauranga that are paying the bills, and we deserve to be listened to. That's what we're here today to do. Yeah. One small point, and it's kind of a big point. In Wellington, there's been a lot in the news about spending cuts and whatnot. We are doing that because we're working hard to get the amount of spending by central government under control. Just in the same way that households across the country and people of Tauranga have had to do during a cost of living crisis. But we've managed to do that as a whole country, as the government in Wellington, as households across New Zealand. We have got inflation down to 2.5%. We can only do that by people saving money. But this proposed rates increase is a flying in the face of that. When everybody else is putting in the hard money to try and get that down, it is not good enough that we're facing 12% rate increases. The council has to be doing more to back up the work that everyone in this country has been doing. And thank you very much for being here today to join this march to say we are Tauranga. We might not be getting a vote in October, but we will be heard because this is a democracy. Thank you very much.
Not a bad turnout. Residents are now heading up Devonport Road. Haven't really noticed any other media here, but head down there and catch them downtown.
Respect for ratepayers. 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 Respect for ratepayers.
Thank you for that, Jan. Now, Jan refused to pay her rates when the commissioners were in office because of her commitment to democracy.
Good on her. Well done.
Soon, some of you will be rated out of your properties because you won't be able to afford to pay the rates.
Tell me about it.
Shocking.
And about in the last 4 to 5 years, rates have increased about 50%. In the next 10 years, residential rates will increase 122%. Rates overall, including residential, commercial and industrial, will increase 167%.
Wow.
When the commissioners came to town, the Tauranga city debt was about 555 million. When they left, it was over $1 billion.
Wow.
In 10 years from now, it will be 3.1 billion. Fear not. Fear not. Mayor Drysdale attended a meeting I was at on Thursday night, and he said the council have a plan for those of you who can't afford to pay your rate. And that is, you can defer them until you sell your properties.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind? Do you have any idea how this looks?
What's the justification for all this spending? We were standing right in the middle of it, and that is the redevelopment of the CBD. When Ann Tolley came here to be the Chief Commissioner, she took a walk up and down Devonport Road, and she was shocked to see that there were about 30 or 40 shops closed, and that's true. But she concluded that the Tauranga City Council was to blame for this because they hadn't spent enough money on the city. Now this is completely wrong. The reason the CBD failed here is the same as other places, and that's because CBDs are now redundant.
Yeah.
People do retail shopping online and at shopping malls.
Yeah.
Business people do transactions electronically, not manually now. When I was a young law student in 1985, that's 40 years ago now, I was working for a law firm in Auckland. And one day I got the honour of doing a settlement. So I went to the bank to get the bank cheque, met the other lawyer, gave him the money, the bank cheque, and he gave me the documents. Today that's all done electronically. You don't need to corral business people in one place to do business anymore. I never leave my office, well, I pretty much never leave it at Mount Maunganui, and I do transactions all over the country. Banking is done electronically. Meetings are conducted electronically. So all of this money we're spending to redevelop the inner city here, over $1 billion will be spent of ratepayers' money, ultimately when you add the stadium and everything else. is really a waste of money, a waste of your money. And I believe that the proponents of this are now starting to realise this, because developers in the city are asking for subsidies to come down and develop here. Let me read from the Urban Task Force submissions to the Tauranga City Council annual plan for 2025-2026. TCC should adopt incentives for immediate and short-term investment and development in the CBD via development contribution reduction stroke waivers. And it goes on to say, UTF are aware of several significant projects in the CBD which are planned and which have been granted resource consents but which are currently stalled. The Council should consider a remissions policy for development contributions for a period of 2 years to help kickstart further investment in buildings and development in the CBD. You see, there'll never be enough money for these people out of your pockets, because what they are doing, the premise of what they are doing, has failed. CBDs and modern CBDs are redundant. Not just here, look at Auckland. Smith & Co. used to have 5 stories of a building in Queen Street. They now have half a story. What happened to the economic principle of supply and demand? Whatever happened to user pays? Or does user pays only apply if you're a fisherman? Down at the Marine Precinct.
Here's Erica.
We shall see when the Council address this issue of development subsidies, more development subsidies for the waste of money that's already been spent here. Now, who's responsible for Tauranga people being raided out of their homes? There's a list. The Labor government for appointing the commissioners and cancelling the 2022 election. The current coalition government for refusing to instruct the commissioners to delay the long-term plan until the new council was elected. The Urban Task Force, New Zealand Property Council, Ngā Potikia Tamapahori Trust, Social Link, and a small group of individuals who were instrumental in persuading the government to cancel the 2022 election. The commissioners, of course, but also the majority of the current council who voted to proceed with the Civic Centre project, which will cost over $300 million of ratepayers' money. Originally, ratepayers were only paying $151 million. Now they're paying 93% of it. And it will run at a loss. Listen to this, a loss of $29.5 million each year it's in operation. Voting matters. Voting matters. And the councillors who voted that were Mahi Drysdale, Ian Schooler, Kevin Schuler, Steve Morris, Martin Rosenboom, Holtapper Baker, and Rod Taylor.
Conflicted.
Where are they?
This is how we're represented. Unbelievable.
Now, people, I just want to finish by saying this. It's time for Tauranga to wake up. It's time to be realistic. And as we go forward, it's important, if you can, when more of these sort of events are held, to bring along as many people as you can. Because, as I say, it is a serious matter, and we are in a serious financial predicament. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Garth. Informative and passionate. Now we need to get behind this message. Don't lose touch with each other. Don't lose touch with those that you've seen standing up talking. We don't want to lose touch with you as we get the next steps going. We are not going to let this ball slide under the table. We're going to get a result, and we're going to get a result for all of us. Thanks so much.
jeepers, another stupid newsreel. I hate the news.